Yeah, you beat me to the punchline there. I think I think so. Yeah, the challenge here is that people in OTL have to think much more like sort of entrepreneurs or even like venture investors. And so, having been at Stanford and having IP that then went into companies and so on, so I've been on that side, and actually having been an investor, I've been on there for both sides. I know Stanford's OTL pretty well, and I think Stanford is maybe not unique, but is rare at least in that they are, I think, for the most part, realizing exactly what you talked about. That it's that you can't use percentage to feed your kids or to do scholarships for students at Stanford. It's always dollars. And big percentage of small dollars versus small percentage of huge dollars. The latter is usually more worthwhile. And they've seen this, like with IP from Google and other big wins have had huge payouts for Stanford. I think they have a few general principles that have worked very well. First is that I think they see the value of having the IP in the entrepreneur's hands rather than selling it off. You could imagine, like, instead of like Larry and Sergey getting the original IP for Google, which, in the end, maybe I don't even know how useful that was compared to all the things they did afterwards. But imagine like sold that to IBM. Like, would IBM build a search engine with that IP, and would it become Google? Probably not. It seems extremely unlikely. You want those founders there driving it. And what's interesting is that mentality alone very much aligns with ours. And I think to Stanford's OTL's credit, it is sort of, I think, a very sort of venture-like mindset. The second thing is that, yeah, if you ask for 85% of the company for this, you're going to kill the company, or it's not going to become a very large company, and other people won't be able to really contribute to it. So you can't do that. And so you have to be thinking about what is reasonable and really thinking about the big picture. And in the end, and this is, again, not like venture investing, where venture investors won't be asking for 85% of the company. There won't be much company left to go beyond that. But there's one last thing, which I think Stanford does uniquely too, which venture can't do, which is that in the end, Stanford makes a fair bit of money from its IP. But where it might even make more money is when you walk around campus and you look at the buildings and the names on them. A lot of those are alumni who did very well and are grateful for knowing that they stood on the shoulders of giants and want to acknowledge that and give back. And Stanford probably makes more money on the donations than it does on the IP. And so thinking about this big picture and what is the big win and what is the way to sort of build an ecosystem, I think Stanford's been particularly good at that.